If you were to look up towards the center of our galaxy, you'd find yourself staring at Sagittarius A star, which is a supermassive black hole sitting at the very center of our galaxy. Astronomers, not ones to let black holes sit idly by, have studied the region around Sagittarius A star very intensely. And the reason they study this area intensely is to try and uncover secrets about the nature of black holes and the nature of gravity itself, because black holes have very intense masses and gravitational fields. If you study the black hole and the stars around the black hole, you can understand the gravitational forces at play and test the theory of general relativity. While studying this central region, astronomers found in 2005 a rather peculiar type of object, and they called it a G-type object. It looked a little bit like dust, but also a little bit like a star. Was it the only one? Well, they had to look for more of these objects to find if it was alone. In 2012, they finally found a second G-type object. And this one was quite interesting because in about 2 years' time from 2012, it was supposed to have a close pass with the central black hole. So astronomers pointed their very powerful telescopes toward this black hole during the pass to note what happened to this object as it passed by the central black hole. And what happened was rather peculiar. The object got elongated and stretched out as it got close to the black hole, and material was stripped away from the object and fed onto the black hole. And as it left the proximity of the black hole, it started to regain its spherical shape. So it started out as a sphere, got stretched into some elongated shape, and then rebounded back into a sphere again. Now, if this object were just dust, this wouldn't happen. The object would have its material stripped, and it would kind of live in this new stripped state. But if there was something else embedded inside of it, something like a star that has a large amount of gravity, it could pull the material back together, reform it into a sphere, and of course eject material from the star itself to add to this shell of material again. So this was the leading hypothesis, that perhaps you have a star sitting in the middle with a shell of material around it. Was this a one-off kind of event, or is this a similar type of story between these two G objects? Well, fast forward until 2019, 4 more G objects were discovered by astronomers at UCLA. Using the Keck telescope, they took near-infrared observations of the central region and found these 4 objects shown in this figure. In this image, Sagittarius A star is at the center, and the other G objects are placed around the black hole. All of these objects show similar properties. They all have a shroud of infrared bright material around them, and they all look kind of spherical. So what could explain the origin of all of these G-type objects? Well, the leading idea that's behind these objects, perhaps you have multiple stars orbiting around each other, known as binary star systems, in the center of the galaxy. So these binary stars would orbit around one another as they orbited around the supermassive black hole. Now, generally, binary systems can be very stable and live for billions, if not trillions, of years. But with the addition of a supermassive black hole, the gravitational tug and pull of each of these 3 objects can lead to the binaries decaying in their orbit and colliding with one another. This collision would jettison a bunch of material to envelop this collision, and in the center you'd have the 2 stars merge to create one much larger star. Now, this model seems to be a good fit, and if you look at other pieces of evidence, such as the rate of formation of binary star systems, it also agrees with the number of objects they've found in the center of the galaxy. So while trying to understand the nature of the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy, we've also discovered this new type of stellar object. This object is fascinating for a number of reasons, but one which the black hole astronomers are most interested about is whenever they do a close approach towards Sagittarius A star, their material will be stripped and fed onto the black hole, creating some little violent outbursts from our rather quiet monster up there.